We decided to make a air dry clay terrazzo phone holder, and we're going to show you how to make it today.
Now if you like this video, then make sure you subscribe to the Hobbycraft channel.
And don't forget, also click the bell icon and then you won't miss out on new stuff.
Keep watching and we'll show you how to make it.
You will need a rolling pin, about 400 grams of air dry clay, a large cookie cutter, garden wire, pliers, sandpaper, a toothpick, acrylic paint and some Mod Podge. Cut your air dry clay into 2 even lumps. Roll them both out to a thickness of about 1.5 centimetres. Turn the clay as you go to stop it from sticking and to get an even thickness. Cut one of the pieces in half. To do this, smooth the knife gently across the clay several times to get an even cut and avoid distorting the clay. Smooth the cut edge with a little water, then use a cocktail stick to score the back of the clay and add a little water to make it sticky. On the other piece of clay, use the stick to mark a strip down the centre that's about 1.5 centimetres wide. This is where your phone will sit, so the thickness may vary depending on your phone. Place one of the cut halves onto the clay with the straight edge lined up with the central strip. Then use the cocktail stick to blend the corners together. Repeat for the other side, then press the clay down with your hand. Use a large cookie cutter and lay it onto the clay with the gap in the centre. Press down slowly to cut out the clay. Gently remove the clay from the cutter and smooth down the edges with some water. At this point you can check your measurements are still okay. You can also see if your phone sits in the gap, just bear in mind it may get a bit of clay on it. Set the clay aside to dry. This will take at least 24 hours. Next, to make the bee, we're starting with the wings. Take some wire, we're using about 20 centimetres, and bend it in half, crossing the end over to make a loop. Then fold the other end in and repeat for the other side. You'll end up with a bow shape like this. Tweak them to make sure they are even, then use the pliers to trim so that there's only a few millimetres of excess. Roll a grape-sized piece of clay into an oval for the bee. Push the ends of the wire wings into the top and set aside to harden. Once dry, check to make sure your phone fits in the gap. You can sand the sides if needed. Sand the rest of the clay too to smooth any rough or uneven edges. Now, to create a terrazzo effect, dot splodges of paint randomly onto the clay. Go around the edges of the clay too. Paint the bee yellow, then add strips of black, leaving the front yellow for the face. You can also use a Sharpie if this is fiddly. Paint the wings black too. Draw or paint on a little face. Then glue the bee onto the clay base just behind the gap. Add a layer of Mod Podge all over to seal the clay and add some shine. Now all you need to do is pop in your phone.
So there we go, the bee's knees of phone holders. If you like this video, there are lots more ideas over on the Hobbycraft Ideas Hub, so don't forget to check those out too. See you next time!